Salute, 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 salute. Welcome back to Talk Nation. Thank you for joining me for another episode. This is a follow up for the Walter Wallace murder in Philadelphia. He was tragically slain while having a mental episode. Some may not like this because my opinion and my view may be a little bit different from other people's narrative, but keep in mind, this is my opinion. Everybody else has theirs. But once you follow the situation, you just may understand where I'm coming from. Now, previously, you heard reports from the situation and also from myself that the police was called out to Walter Wallace's home. And unfortunately, instead of detaining Walter Wallace, he wound up, unfortunately, being killed. Now, when police released the body cam footage and also the 911 calls, and you hear his family in the background, and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that they were told that that wasn't the first time that they was called to that residence for Walter Wallace that day. Now, his family called, and you can hear in the background that they were saying that he was attacking their mother. In one situation, you hear a male, he's also in distress, and he's calling for assistance. Now, when you hear reports from the family said that they never called the police. They called for an ambulance. But clearly, when you listen to the footage and you listen to the tapes, you can clearly hear the distress level, and you can also hear from what they say, he's attacking my mother. So you think they're going to send an ambulance if you're saying that somebody is attacking another person? No, they are going to send the police. You know what I mean? So for the family to say that they never called for the police to arrive on scene, I mean, that's a lie, because the tapes clearly stipulate something different. So you call the police on your own family, on your own blood, and the end result is he wound up losing his life. So is y'all a little bit guilty about that? Who knows? But you should be, because see, as a family, if you know that Walter Wallace mentally is unstable, he should have been receiving help long ago. And if he wasn't taking his medication, if he wasn't seeing his therapist or his doctor, that's on his family. That's on the people that is responsible for his caring and upbringing. Because I'm pretty sure that he did not live by himself. So if he lived still under his mother's roof or whomever's roof, it is partially their responsibility to not only make sure that he get the helps that he needed, but if they see any type of situation, you know what I mean, stirring up that he could potentially become violent, at this point, that is your blood, that is your family. It is up to you first to diffuse that situation. And if you can't diffuse that situation, then you call upon, as they say, the proper authorities. Now, when you listen to those tapes, it don't necessarily seem like that was the case. It seemed like maybe he was having a situation. They said he was attacking their mom or whatever. Because I know one thing. If I had a brother or a sister and they're attacking my mom, that's not the first thing I'm looking to do, is to pick up the phone and call the cops. I'm about to tear somebody up. Period. I ain't got to call nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing my mother taught me. You need to know how to protect yourself, period. And as a man, I never forgot that. So I still, as a man, I still further my physical skills as far as learning how to fight, learning a little bit of boxing, martial arts, and so on. So therefore, I ain't got to call nobody. And trust me, if I hit you, you gonna know about it. You know what I'm saying? So those people that were in the home, you know what I mean? And from what I've seen, Walter Wallace, he wasn't a very big guy. You know what I mean? So if y'all couldn't overpower him and get him to the floor or whatever and get him calmed down, something is wrong. Maybe they gave up. Maybe they were exhausted. You know what I'm saying? They were just tired of the situation. Because like I said, this situation apparently was going on for the better part of the day. Because that wasn't the first time that the authorities was called in reference to him having an episode. But the last and final time was just that, the last and final time. Because when police arrived on scene, they were not equipped to handle a situation like that. And that's not Walter Wallace's fault. That's their fault. As they said, they were not equipped with batons, tasers, pepper spray, nothing. Only thing they had was their gun. So therefore, that's all they used, which is also wrong. Because if he physically had a knife and he started charging you, I said this before in a previous video, go back and check it out. I'm gonna also do my best to link it in the description so you guys can check it out after this video. All they had to do, and I hate to say it, but all they had to do, if they were going to quote unquote draw their firearms and quote unquote use them in that situation did not have to be a deadly situation. All they had to do was basically either fire a warning shot, and if he still didn't quote unquote come to his senses, all they had to do, they could have hit him in the arm, they could have hit him in the leg, and that would have immobilized. That should have been the first thing that went into their mind, to immobilize the threat instead of to neutralize the threat. Because see, the thing about a knife, you have to be close in order to do damage with a knife. Unless you are a circus performer and you're very skilled at throwing knives from a long distance. And I don't think that was the case in Walter Wallace's situation. More importantly, his life. So if he had a situation, maybe he looked at the police like a threat. Newsflash, last time I checked, they out here killing people for no reason. Newsflash. And just like I said before, that's why it burns me up when your own people are out here working with these people to destroy your people. And I don't care what you say, whatever your belief is, that will never, ever sit right with me. In the street, we call those people rats. Now, if somebody wrongs you in a court of law and you choose to follow the court of law to receive justice, there's nothing wrong with that. But see, when you out here unjustly telling on people to disrupt people's lives and to destroy people's lives, you deserve whatever comes to you. You dig what I'm saying? Street law may not be perfect, but it's true. If somebody do something wrong to you, you get back. If you choose to walk the other way, turn the other cheek as they say, or if you're not built for that type of situation, that's fine. But if you are, then you handle your business. And whatever comes from behind that, you have to be man enough or woman enough to deal with the repercussions of your decision. My mother told me that a long time ago. If you do something dumb or whatever, and you get involved in something and you wind up getting locked up for something, don't call me. Excuse me. And I can respect that. And I never have, and I never will. So if somebody brings me to the point where I got to handle my business, the only thing I can say is I feel sorry for you, because I already know what I'm gonna lose. And I'm ready to lose that if I know my decisions are based upon not anger, not aggression, but fact. You did something to me that I just can't live with, that I just can't walk away from. And the only retribution that I can see and I can taste, it must come by my own hand. Because like I said, I'm not to pick up the phone and call 911 type of guy. Never have. And I'm over 40 years old and I ain't never did it. You know what I'm saying? Even once upon a time when I did security, it just something in me just ain't with that, especially when you calling on your own people. And like I said, when these people out here working with these people to destroy your people, that's the worst kind of coward. That's the worst kind of coward. But see, people are broken, and I understand that. And that's why Walter Wallace lost his life, because those people, or those quote unquote cops, they were cowards. They were afraid. They were broken. They should have never even been in a uniform. They should have never been on that block. Because why do it take 14 shots to drop a man at that range? You're a coward. If y'all could not immobilize Walter Wallace, then you know what? Y'all should have let his ass chase you down the street. You know what I'm saying? And if he got close enough to harm you, then as I said, if you cannot immobilize and you left with no other choice but to neutralize, then unfortunately you have to do what you have to do, because that corresponds to the directives of your job. But if you just basically flat out lay somebody down, that's murder. Especially in the cases of Walter Wallace, Breanna Taylor, and literally George Floyd. They literally laid George Floyd down. And I guess they didn't have a noose. So I guess at that particular point, the knee had to do the job. So they literally laid my king down, and they killed him. You know what I'm saying? So when you have situations like this, and then the city goes through that period of unrest, and the city was already, quote unquote, on that tipping point. Philly is a great city, but Philly ain't about no games. You know what I'm saying? So it don't take much to spark the people at all. And that's one thing I know, and I've never forgotten about my city. As they say, there's rats everywhere. That's very true. But they don't squeak for long in Philly. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? In other places, they thrive because it's a culture. Never thought I'd even say that. But a rat hood is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like you have brotherhoods, you got rat hoods. You know what I'm saying? Real. So wake up, ladies and gentlemen. So touching back on my brother Walter, man. When you look at this police footage and you see him coming down the steps, and they see me visually, I tend to look at a situation and automatically my mind's wheels start turning. It starts to formulate plans. It starts to formulate solutions. Now, when I saw that situation, automatically I'm thinking about what would I have done? What would I have done? And one of the first things that I thought about was when you look at the second perspective from the body cam footage, I believe it was when he was trying to come down the steps. It's funny or classical as it may seem, but at that point, when he came down the steps, that would have been my part. That would have been my point right there. Through my first attempt, I would have tripped his ass. You know what I'm saying? And when his ass fell down the steps, I'm guaranteed that knife would have flew out of his hand if he had it in his hand at that point. And once he did so, guess what? He'll be able to bounce back. He'll have some bumps and bruises or what have you, but he'll have his life. And that's the whole point. These people, quote unquote, cops, 950, blues, whatever you want to call them, they have not only too much power, but they should not have the right to kill somebody because mentally they're not prepared for that responsibility. And I don't mean a responsibility of killing somebody. I mean a responsibility of putting on that uniform. You are a public servant. You are here to literally protect the people. So if you are not here to protect the people, if that is not your nature, if that is not your way, then you shouldn't even be a cop. But see, like I said before, man, you got a lot of cops, man, they become cops because they're cowards, because they're scared. And then it makes it look bad for the good ones who are really trying to not only uphold the quote unquote law, but they're actually trying to look out for the people. They're actually trying to police their neighborhoods in a positive way instead of being police in the neighborhood. That's their job, policing. As they say, to uphold the law. And see, you're supposed to bring a murderer to justice. You are not supposed to become the murderer of justice. Because if you do so, you should be held to the same contempt and the same laws as any other murderer. Be it death penalty or life in jail. But it ain't no slaps on the wrist. Not in my court, you dig what I'm saying? That's your only two options. And depending upon the severity of the situation, so you need to start thinking about what you do if you are here, quote unquote, upholding the law. You need to think about the decisions that you make, how you choose to police the people that you're supposed to be upholding. Don't utilize and use that power to bully people. Because let me tell you, me being a fighter, that's one thing that I can't stand. I hate a bully. Because my Uncle James told me a long time ago, like, never be afraid of somebody bigger than you. Because a person that's bigger than you, that's picking on you, is generally, he used the B word when he was giving a lesson. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just say a coward. Because they utilize that size to try to intimidate you. But see, if you take that fear out of your heart, of that opposition, quote unquote, being larger than you, or maybe even stronger than you, and you just utilize your heart. As they say, you don't fear the size of the dog, you fear the heart in the dog. Because you can have a little small dog and he'll still stand up to a dog that's bigger than him. Why? Because he got heart. He may lose, but he got heart. And at the end of the day, I'd rather go out on my shield, you know what I'm saying, with heart than treachery. So I really feel for Walter Wallace's family, because deep, as my mom say, man, deep in your heart of hearts, man, you know what I'm saying? You have to know that you are partially responsible for his death. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Because how can you pick up that phone, dial that number, especially with everything going on? You seen how the riots was in Philadelphia when George Floyd and Breanna Taylor, you know what I'm saying, and Ahmad Aubrey and everybody else was slain. You seen that. So at that fraction of a second before you chose to pick up that phone and call the cops on your brother or your son, you really should have thought about that. But as they say, a lot of people don't think until they have no choice but to think. And that's generally after the situation or after it's all said and done, where it's like, damn, what did I do? But now it's too late. So now the brother's gone. He's not here. And the people that's fighting for him, the people that's rioting for him, is not even his family. So in my opinion, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. Because if I have a brother or if I have a sister, which I do, that has mental issues, it is my part as a brother to do my best to look out for her or him if I can. And if I cannot, then I have to do my best that they get the help that they need. And I'm not talking about calling that number. I'm talking about calling somebody that can sort out whatever calamity that's going on in their mind. Because sometimes that's all people need. They got a lot going on up there. And if you look around, ladies and gentlemen, it's a lot going on outside. And you think that people that quote unquote have these mental barriers and these mental issues, you think that that's not affecting them? You think that all of the chaos and calamity that they see around them and in the world, you think that they don't feel that pain? You think they don't see and comprehend what's going on? They may see it on a different wavelength. They may not be able to verbally express it like everybody else. But you think they don't know what's going on? Some of the most smartest and brilliant minds in this world have a mental defect. You look at the people suffering from autism. These are some of the most beautiful minds on the planet, capable of doing some of the most extraordinary things that you've ever seen, from math to music to art. But they're classified socially as quote unquote as having a disability. No, the only disability is that people have is because you're not truly opening your eyes and seeing somebody's ability. Everybody has the ability to be a human being, but you choose to do otherwise. Everybody has the ability to be true, but we choose to do otherwise. Everybody has the ability to show respect, but we choose to do otherwise. Everybody has the ability to love, but we choose to hate each other. So whose fault is that? I'm listening. So listen to your heart, listen to your thoughts, and find your truth. So to the family of Walter Wallace, man, over here at Talk Nation, like I said, we keep it real, but at the same time, I love my people. But just because I love my people, I'm not going to sit up here and coddle my people, because this is not a time for that. This is a time for people really to truly wake up and realize what is going on around you in your life and the world. Because some people say, you know what, man, like it's almost over. And you look at what's going on in the world and it kind of makes you think like, you know what, damn, is it? But see, some people have been lost so long. They've been walking in the dark so long. They don't even know what the light look like. They see it beaconing. They see it beckoning, calling for them. And they haven't seen it so long. It hasn't been present in their life and their heart so long. They're afraid of it. And they choose not to walk towards it. So they remain in darkness, just bumping around and shit. So be true to yourself, because you can't be true to your people if you're not true to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That's where it starts. Introspection. So my introspective thought of the day to my people, man, to my subscribers, to my listeners, think about what's going on inside you. Think about how to fix what's going on inside you. And once you do so, then you can begin to heal the others around you, and essentially the world. But you can't start that process if you yourself are broken. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. This is your boy, you know what I'm saying? AKA your brother, man. So be true, be humble, stay focused, protect yourself at all times, wear your mask at all times, guard up, because it's a war going on outside and nobody's safe from it. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.